So switching gears here a little bit to target 43, switching back into our work with polynomials and talking about the roots of them. So target 43 is saying, well, what are the possible roots of it? So we've talked about how you can use a graphing calculator to be able to find out what any real root is of a cubic function, but what are the possible roots? What if you didn't have a graphing calculator? What would you do? And it all comes down to your leading coefficient and your constant at the end. And so what you want to do is list out all the factors of those things. So we want to talk about those factors of the leading coefficient and of the factors of the constant. So as we look at this first example, the leading coefficient is 1. So that's nice. And the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and so to figure out the possible roots, what you'll always do is list out all of the factors of the constant divided by all the factors by the leading coefficient. So every single combination. So for our first example, that would look like 1, 2, 4, and 8. Those are my constant. And then all of them would just be divided by 1 because that's the constant, or that's the factor of the leading coefficient. And then you have to remember that they could be positive and negative for each of these. So positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 4, and positive negative 8 are all the factors for our first example. For our second example, we think about these factors. Now this one has a leading coefficient of 2, so 1 and 2 are those factors, and constant at the end of 7, so just 1 and 7. So as we list those out, so you'd list 1 and 7, but then 1 over 1 and 7 over 1, also 1 and 7 over 2, because that's the other factor of that leading coefficient, and then plus and a minus for each of these. And so that's how we can determine what our possible roots are for each of these polynomials are, by constant divided by leading coefficient factors. So hopefully you're able to find this video helpful for all your work with rationalizing expressions and as well as working with the rational root theorem. Good luck. Thanks.